name is I'm the founder of SoftWrestle. React.js is awesome. That's why it's popular. At SoftWrestle, we often write unit tests to test our React components. How can we cover all the areas using unit tests for a React component with all the complex data, events and constraints? Sometimes it's difficult to test a React component deeper when there's complexity. But we must make sure our component behaves as we expect under all possible conditions, shouldn't we? As we all would agree, when things get difficult, it's human nature to overlook things and find easy ways. Let's find an easy way for unit testing. First, let me explain the task at hand. Let's say you are tasked to create a feature to show a list of things to do on a day in summer. You may have just one or two things to do on a day, like visiting a couple of places, or it may be 10 to 12 activities to do on another day. You have to show it to the user 3 activities at a time. Let's look at an example here. As you can see on the screen, our day starts at Sundbyberg, taking the bus to Typescript, and then we are taking the community boat to central Stockholm, taking the metro to Solna, and some time in Westfield Mall of Scandinavia, and we are doing some shopping and going to Nynäshamn beach next up, and after that our day ends with a dinner at Brumma Blocks. Let's break down and conquer things at a time, one at a time. I'm going to start with this step navigator button group, which controls what we see at a time. One way would be to write everything in a React component and try to test it the hard way. Easy way would be to write a Typescript class and thoroughly test the class and then let the class control the React component. This way we have more access to the data in the class and we can write a deeper test. So this is the component that I'm going to focus on, the step navigator button group, and I'm going to start with step control class, which will control one of these buttons in the button group. Let me show you the code. This is the step control class, which controls only one button in the button group, and this class will have which side, whether it's left or right. You can extend it in the future if you want to have a vertical version like up and down or something like that, but for now it's left and right, left to right, and which side also, as you saw, it becomes active, inactive, inactive when you reach the end of the button group, and you have to have a getter and setter for set that active inactive status. Then I have two tests actually. We have done it test driven development way, which means we write a test that failed and we try to fix it. It should be that way. We have written a test to see if the step control instance get instantiated with the expected values, and also whether it changes active inactive status as we expect. Then I'm going to write the button group class for the button group. As you can see in this little code image, this is for the button group step navigator class. How many steps are controlled or stored in the parent component, and we also keep the current step. Step down control and step up control will be an instance from the previously written class that we have just talked about, step control class, and our constructor will also validate some edge cases and also initiate our step navigator test buttons. Now I'm going to show you the step up and step down methods. These step down, step up and step down are the significant methods which control the button component, button group component, and does everything. So step up will increment our current step and also make sure that active inactive status of the button, and also step down does the same. Then I have 6 more lengthy tests to test that class, step navigator buttons component. Once again, we have done it TDD way, and we check whether it initializes with the given properties, and we also checking another test to check whether increment and increment functionality works as we expect, and also the decrement function works as we expect. And another test covering whether other cases like button does not get initiated with um, if the range is out of the given controls, and also if we are trying to initiate it with invalid values, it throws errors. So as Kenzie.dot suggests, write few but lengthy tests. So once you're fully confident with the step navigator class, now you can write the React component. Let's have a look at the React component. We have kept it modular, so we have our React component here. Once again, how many steps are controlled in the parent component, and on step change is to give inversion of control. Let's talk about the state effects and handlers in a moment. We are going to build a clean UI for the button group with material UI, buttons and icons. Now let's use an instance of the step navigator class that we previously tested to control the step navigator buttons. In our state, we have step navigator instance, which we thoroughly tested, and this instance will handle increment, decrement and all the steps from that class. When user clicks previous or next or previous, those methods step up or step down functions, significant methods in step navigator instance, will handle the events. Now a few unit tests to the step navigator buttons component, React component, will be sufficient to make sure that we have assigned all the properties of step navigator instance to make the buttons active or inactive, and handle step change and give control back to the parent component to show the activities in the current step. Let's have a look at our tests for the React component. Now we just have few tests, and which also test whether whether we have assigned those values for the increment and decrement steps, and also whether the parent get the control, the parent component get the current step on step change. Now let's run all our tests. All our tests passed, and we have fairly good coverage as well. This brings more benefits. You can use the same step navigator TypeScript class in React.js or Next.js, just like we have added in this repo, or use it in another JavaScript framework like Angular. Another benefit would be you can easily replace the design system with Bootstrap, Tailwind or other. This is how I try to come up with high quality software at SoftwareCell. Feel free to comment or reach out and tell us what you think and what would you like to see from us next. Cheers. Thank you.